Today we're going to take a look at the properties dialog inside of Stonefield Query. The properties dialog is extremely powerful and lets you make many changes to the report. For instance, when you double click on a field or we just hit the properties button, we can come in and on the display tab make many changes. I can change the heading from company to client. I could also uncheck auto fit column and go ahead and change this to the width that I would like. If the width is too narrow, I can choose either word wrap the data so it's not cut off the data, display an ellipsis at the end, or cut off the data with an ellipsis in the middle. I'm going to choose to word wrap my data on the company. I can also come into my contact here and make some changes. Now you may have dates or headings that you want to change. For instance, I'm going to change this from estimated close date to just close date. When we go ahead and preview this report, Stonefield Query is going to get the data to display, and it's all going to be displayed on one line, and you can see that the contact Nathan cutting brittles does word wrap. There are a lot of changes that you can make using the Format tab in Stonefield Query in the Properties dialog. The Format tab allows you to change the alignment of a field from left, right to center. Depending on the type of field, whether it's a number field, a memo field, text field, or a date, you can uncheck default formats and make certain changes. For instance, here you could uncheck default format and check display empty dates as blank. You could also uncheck to display date only. There's other choices with dates, as displaying your date as a hour, week, month, year, quarter, and such. And there's also the summary tab. The summary tab for non-numeric fields, you can utilize these for counts and distinct counts, as well as to find highest and lowest values. For number fields, for instance, the total or currency field, on the Format tab, again, we could change our left, right, center. Our default formats as far as thousand separators, showing zeros as blank, and displaying your dollar sign in the decimal places can be changed simply by unchecking the default format. We also have the summary tab. Not only do you have the counts and distincts, highest and lowest, but we also have a sum and an average. I'm going to go ahead and select the sum, click OK. When we preview the report and we get the data set returned, when we go to the last page of the report, we can see that Stonefield Query is providing the total. On the Properties dialog, we also have the Style tab. On the Style tab, you have the capability of changing from the default font to a different font, as well as changing your colors and using dynamic expressions for colors. Let's focus on the fonts. I uncheck Use Default Font. I have the capability of coming to my list and typing in a different font. I'll even make this a larger size and click OK. I can also use dynamic expressions for font style. For instance, I could come in and say, I want a record manager equals, and I type in Chris Huffman, click OK, and I could say, you know what, let's go ahead and make this italics and bold. I am also going to look at the Style tab when working with number fields. I'm going to show a dynamic expression for colors here. I'm simply going to grab my total field, say less than 2,000. When it's less than 2,000, I want my color to be red. I'm going to utilize a similar expression, and in the similar expression, I'm going to say total greater than 4,000. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and choose dark blue. Click OK. We're going to go ahead and preview the report, and we'll see that the changes have taken effect. Once the report goes ahead and displays, we'll see that Chris Huffman is italics and bold, as well as the larger font. And we can also see anything that's less than $2,000 is displayed in red. Anything that's over $4,000 is displayed in blue. Grouping is an important capability in Stonefield Query, allowing you to organize your report. In this report, we're going to choose to group via the company, show the count in the group footer, start each group on a new page, reset page number to 1. This is only viewable when you actually print the report. We're going to create bookmarks on this field. You have the capability when the need arises to take multiple fields from the same area and place those in the group header line. And we can also choose to show no group footer when there's only one record in the group. We can also change the sorting from ascending to descending. When we have multiple groupings, you do have the capability of clicking in a field to say include this field in the group header for a specific group. When we preview this particular report, we will see the bookmarks to the left. To the right, what we'll see is an individual company, the records that are returned, our overall total. We can either page through the report by going to the next page, or we could find a specific client, Captains of Industry, for instance, click on that bookmark, and Stonefield Query will take us right to that particular area of the report. Linking is a capability in Stonefield Query that allows you to set certain fields to have certain actions in a report. In this particular field, we've chose the company, and we have said action to take Google Maps. We've also gone to the email field, and on link, I've set this to email. And for website, we've gone to the link tab, and I've set this as a website. When we go ahead and preview this report, we can see that the company is hyperlinked. We can see that the email fields are mail to fields. When we click an email field, it's going to go ahead and start your default mail client and go ahead and allow you to begin creating the email and send that email out. When we go ahead and click on website, it's going to bring up the website. When we go ahead and bring up the company, it's going to go ahead and grab that contact information, open Google Maps, pop that into Google Maps, and bring that information up so you know exactly where the company is located and can get to that company. Stonefield Query allows you to set an action to either drill through or find the record in ACT, which allows you to either find the company or the contact. When I go ahead and click OK and hit preview, Stonefield Query is going to display the available companies. I could go ahead and click on T-Bone Steakhouse. When I bring up ACT, you can see I'm already on T-Bone Steakhouse. When I go back to the report and click on Sim Arrow, you can see that now I'm on Sim Arrow. This allows you to not have to go through the time that it takes to perform the lookup. Stonefield Query has a capability called linking, where you can actually create what are called drill down reports, where you can have one report that has links on it that when they're clicked actually fire up a second report. What's important is to have the second report. Oftentimes it's important to have filter conditions that have an ask it runtime. That way you can pass a value or a filter condition from a previous report. In the drill down report, it's necessary to pick the field that you want to utilize. You select report. You select the report that you want to run. All you do is go through the list, find the report that you want to run, and select that. In this case, we're going to choose History DD Report Details. When you do that, it's actually going to pull in any report conditions that are ask it runtime from History DD Report Details. And here we have Record Manager, and what we've chosen in the drop down, we've chosen Field, and we've said Record Manager from our history. Under Start Date Time, we've said Filter Condition. It will pass the filter condition from the first report that's run to the Start Date field in the second report. Let's go ahead and preview the first report. And we can see the record manager, Chris Huffman, is linked. We'll go ahead and click on Chris Huffman, and you can see Stonefield Query is running the second report. In the second report, it's only brought up Chris Huffman and all of his information, we could go back to our drill down report, tab over to Ernst Anderson, click on Ernst, and again, we're going to go ahead and run that report for the specific date range and only get Ernst information. This is how drill down reports work. Gives you the capability to get the granular level of data.